All right, good morning, guys. Today is April 3rd. It's a brand new month. Today is the first trading day of the month. So far, we are up 3.28%. So the previous month, we started recording the returns this previous Monday. So that whole week we had a winning. We took some losses, but overall the percentage return was positive for each and every day. So if you took each and every trade that I took during the live session, and these are only trades I take in the live session, and got out either when I got out or followed my analysis for getting out, you should have been up at the very least 3% for the week. So if you're doing a challenge, you should be halfway done in just a week. So this week is going to be amazing. Of course, we don't know what markets are going to do, but we always just anticipate and see where price is likely to go. So as usual, we look at trading US 30, gold, and EU. I might need to change. Give me 1 second. I think I have the wrong chart. Just 1 second. Oh wait, no. Okay, I think I'm seeing things. That's fine. That's the right chart. Yeah. All right. So we don't trade the first 5 minutes of market open, so we just let the market stabilize. So you can see US 30, we are in a supply zone within a supply zone. Currently, I can see US 30 is trying to turn to bullish. Gold is bearish, and EU is bullish based on my analysis. So let's see where US 30 is likely to head, right? So we are in a supply zone. So we're in a supply zone within a supply zone. So that's why we have a darker shade of red within this overall supply zone. If US 30 is to break above, we have this small supply zone within a supply zone, but we do see we also have a 4-hour bearish high and 4-hour bearish low here. So let US 30 just last week we really didn't get a lot of entries for US 30. So and that's fine. We were able to make profits from EU and gold. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to box in the 4-hour bearish high and low. But of course, we have to let price settle during this first 5 or 10 minutes after market open. And this is perfect, right? So you can see normally how do we trade this bullish or bearish zones, right? We break them down into two. So if we broke this down, so this is 496, I'll call that 500 just to help with the math. This is 430, I'll call that 430. So half of that is 35, so 465 is the middle of this zone. And look at where 465 lines up. 465 lines up in the middle of this 4-hour bearish high and low. And it also lines up with a supply zone that I drawn way back. So these are normally high time frame supply zones, but we're not looking to sell until price comes back down here. So what I'll do actually, I will turn on the alert so that we can know when price closes below the 9 EMA on US 30. Because you really don't want to mess with US 30, especially during market open. So I just turned on an alert to let us know when US 30 closes below the 9 EMA. The other thing you can ask yourself, so we also have a daily bearish high here, right? So we are in a heavy sell zone for US 30. So give me 1 second. I think maybe we can survive a feeler trade, a feeler sell on US 30. And Audrey, so Audrey and I are doing something we're doing on one of the accounts. So Audrey, if I miss when I'm analyzing and I've marked out some of these entries, you can go ahead and take them even with a feeler trade. Let me see. So our stop loss and take profit is normally 50 pips for US 30. So what I'm looking for here, I'm looking for a trade that can survive past this daily bearish high, because this is a daily bearish high we have, and these zones rarely come up for you, actually for any instrument that we trade. So for any particular trade, I'm looking, and we did get a buy signal for US 30 on the 5 minute, but that's fine. I'm looking for a trade that can survive past the daily bearish highs. So this would be a filler trade. I just want to see how far up we can go. So maybe 200 pips or 150 pips. Yes, so 150 pip trade would suffice. However, in any case, I would wait for price above the 4-hour bearish high. The other thing that's terrible about this one is that we have a weekly bullish low here. So what do I want to do with this trade? So we do have a weekly bullish low, which ideally overrides the daily bearish high. However, we don't have any demand zones around to help the weekly bullish low. But for the daily bearish high, we have a daily bearish high. We have a 4-hour bearish high and low. So I do see US 30 retracing to the downside at the very least for maybe 100 or so pips. Now the question is, so for this particular trade, I don't recommend getting in here just yet. I mean, you should be fine, but this is 150 pips stop loss. So this is a filler trade. Do not use a regular lot size. For a regular lot size, maybe wait for the 4-hour bearish high, but still the stop loss needs to be 150 pips. So I'll leave this trade here. And for this trade, it's a filler trade. So filler trades, I do not risk my normal lot size. So filler trades, I risk like 0.25% of my account. But let's see how that goes. I'll just need to wait, because that's also given that it's Monday. But I love the 4-hour bearish high. I love the daily bearish high. So let's see what price will do around that zone. Let me see if I can get my trend lines in. And this is what I love. I love trading when we have a lot of zones around. So we'll do that. So this trend line is hanging on the 5-minute. On the 1-minute, it should be established because we should have a higher high and a lower high. So that's what we want to see. Oh, also, I'm sorry, guys. So I have good and bad news. So the bad news is that I wasn't able to create the strategy videos. Again, I tell you guys, like I put in like I'm consistently working like 18 hours a day. And also part of that is a lot of back testing with trading and strategies. So that's the bad news, because I know I'd told you guys that you guys would have access to those videos by today. Now, the good news is I know the trial period for the access to the indicators we have, access to the signals, and access to my charts. Like if anybody wants access to my actual charts, I know the I was supposed to start the subscription end of this week, so ideally next week Monday. So what I'll do, because I failed, that was on me. I didn't create videos on the strategy. I will extend the trial period for another week. So you guys who gave me access, you guys who gave me your TradingView usernames for the signals. Oh, I'm sorry, not for the signals, for these two indicators, the GA Trading Club high low plus trend indicator and GA Trading Club 3-level semaphore indicator, and also access to the signals. You guys will have free access until the 16th of April. So yeah, that's just something just because I dropped the ball on making videos on the strategies. So just keep letting this trade, right? I'm sorry, I'm not in this trade. So we just need to wait and see how this goes. So keep in mind, we also got a bullish signal on US 30, and my other account actually took it. I'm almost hitting take profit. So for this trade, we will need to use our reversal strategy, right? Because this trade blew past this zone, blew past the middle zone of the 4-hour bearish high, and blew past the upper zone of the 4-hour bearish high. So we just need to use our reversal strategy for this trade. So our reversal strategy is we need to wait for a 5-minute candle to close below the 9 EMA, and we need to also wait for the next 5-minute candle to close below the 9 EMA, to retest and close below the 9 EMA. Unfortunately, here we do not have any. The only trend line I see here is on the 5-minute. This is it right here. And this one right here. So you can see we have a lot of bullish signals coming in. So so I have a alert set. The other thing, we don't have any buy areas around here. So we had a impulsive buy to the upside off of like this 30-minute bullish high and low. So yeah, we really didn't get a chance to catch any buy. For gold, that is the trend line right here. Gold, let's see. For gold, the same. We have a lot of supply zones to the upside. The other thing, so I over the weekend, I don't know if you guys saw a bunch of news events where some countries ideally are offloading US securities, and also ideally coming together. I think like India and Malaysia came together and said that they'll be settling their bills in Indian rupees. So you have a bunch of some countries that are ideally trying to get rid of US securities. And when those securities come back to the market, if nobody can really buy them, the US will need to buy them back. And the only way for the US to buy them back is to print more money. And right now, for you guys who follow the news in the US, you know that we are dealing with a lot of inflation. So if the US is to print more money to buy all these securities, you can see that, because ideally they're trying to move away from the US dollar. So you can see the US dollar might weaken in the short term. So I'm still bullish on gold. I expect gold to go. I've been bullish since I started the live stream about 2.5 weeks ago. I do expect gold to go towards the 2050 area. The only issue with that is that we do not have any buy areas for gold for EU. So price. So this is another week we are probably going to be trading with the trend lines. Even on EU, I don't have anywhere to draw a trend line. Yeah, so just keep in mind those news events for the going on in the world. Yeah, so let this just keep going, right? So always wait for confirmation. Always wait for confirmation. So here we have the weekly bullish low. So the question is, we need to see how price reacts to this zone, because I do expect price to move up to the daily bearish high. But I do expect a retest of the weekly bullish low. So for this trade right here, I need this candle to close above the weekly bullish low. I need the next candle to retest the weekly bullish low and close above. And at that point, I would be now looking to buy US 30. Keep in mind, we did not get any confirmation for this trade. So right now we do have a chance to enter a buy on US 30, but this would be on the retest of the weekly bullish low. But at this zone, I do expect US 30 to come back down. So if I do get again, I don't want to impulsively sell, but I do expect price to do this on this zone. Let's see, what am I looking for? So I do expect price to do that, do that, and then shoot up. So for now, I'll delete that cell and then just wait on price to come down here. So this is the only opportunity, or this is the only buy markup that we have. Keep in mind, we don't have any trend line unless we are just waiting for price at the bottom. And there you go, you have, right? This is what I want to see at my markups. I want to see perfect rejection. This gives me more confidence that my markups make sense. So I just need to, this is just a matter of waiting and waiting. And it's still Monday, so, and remember, price is always going to come back and fill you in. Like if you're just patient, there's no need of jumping the gun, and always use proper money and risk management. So I need this price to close above. We get a retest, and I'm looking for a perfect retest of the weekly bullish low. and then closure above. And at that point, I will buy US30. Now, US30 can keep pushing up. You can see these candles are opening up with gaps. So US30 it doesn't have to come back and fill us in. It can literally just keep pushing up. But for me, I would be looking for US30 to come back in, to come back down and fill me into a position. And the best thing about this is that I do see a lot of trend lines to the downside that can support price from descending further. So I'm also watching my MT4. So I did tell you guys that I draw my trend lines on the MT4 and I do not delete them. So I'm also watching my MT4, but I can see a lot of trend lines right here to the upside that are supporting US30. So let's just wait for this 5-minute candle. Let's open this indicator. Let's see what trend we are in. I'm pretty sure the trend is bullish. You can see if I take this off, you can see we broke above this bullish channel and we are literally above. So another buy. So this is again how you can use this little tool inside the indicator. You can wait for a buy on the top of that channel or at the bottom of the buy channel. So the top of this channel is about 33,469, 33,404. Let's put that back in, take it off. 469, 404.
Just heads up, Mike, news in 9 minutes, just so you know.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right, thanks. All right, so and normally we don't trade news 5 minutes before news and 5 minutes after news. What news do we have? Oh, ISM manufacturing PMI. Okay. So unfortunately, I do see US30 living without us. I do see them breaking this bearish high with a lot of momentum. Because if US30 breaks up here, there's really nothing stopping US30 until 33,760 area. So this is just a matter of patience and patience and patience. Yeah, this might be the next best sell area on US30, about 35,000. Yeah, let's see also the structure. Okay, yeah, let's just stay off for news right now because ideally they'll just be playing around with the market, but I do see this playing out. So it's either they'll blast through and keep shooting up, but I do see a sell. I don't think it's going to go continuously up. I do see them blasting up, taking, because to me, what makes sense right now, right? US30 has been trending up, and I did tell you that this asset's almost always complete structure, right? So US30 had this downtrend, and then it came back up. So I'm pointing to the chart on my right, which is the hourly chart. So we had this downtrend. Let me see if I can use this tool. We had this downtrend, and then we had a bunch of consolidation here. And then US30, I told you guys, this assets or instruments complete structure, right? So in any case, we have to complete this structure to the upside, which lines up with 33,500 area, right? So where price is at right now, delete that. So where price is at right now is the 33,500 area. So US30 is just completing this structure. But if you zoom out to your right, where else is the structure, right? The next stop is 33,485 area. No, that's where price is at. The next structure is around 33,800 area. And then the top of that structure is 34,300 area. So let's see what's at 34,300. Yep, so 34,300 area. So this zone, you can see we have a lot of supply zones within a supply zone. So if US30 is to complete structure, the best sell would be around 34,300 area. The zone we are in right now is still ripe for a sell. But I do see them, if it's a ripe zone for a sell, what is more likely to happen, right? So I'm pretty sure they know that there are traders like us who try to catch these reversals and know that this is a supply zone or a daily bearish high. So what's more likely to happen, right? This is likely to play out, but then they can squeeze people out. And then guess what? After like after New York session or like 12 p.m., price ranges. And then guess what? Price comes all the way back down to pick up liquidity in the market. So let's see, to pick up liquidity in the market, probably at the weekly bullish low, and then either goes all the way back up to go to the 33,400 area. Let's see where else they can pick up liquidity. They can come back. So you can see this is an area that US 30 price was attracted to, and look at what's around there. 30-minute bullish high, 15-minute bullish high and low area. We have a 30-minute bullish low. So ideally we have a buy zone here. We also have a demand zone down here. So I do see them squeezing sellers out like during news, and then price will consolidate and then break back down. So that's why I have the 9 EMA, like price crossing below the 9 EMA on US 30, because at that point, that's the only time I'll sell US 30. But until then, there's no need for us to just hop onto a sell. Right here, even though we hopped onto a sell, our take profit is 50 pips. These candles, even though they're retracing, so let's see the retracement. The retracement here, 556. The retracement was about 30 pips, 78 to, yeah, so 30 or 20 pips. So if you're willing to catch 30 or 20 pips in this zone, feel free, but I am not willing to risk that. Gold broke back below our trend line, broke below the trend line, retested the 9 EMA. So this might be a sell on gold, but we do have news coming up. So this is just a waiting game. But US 30, for me, I'm bullish on it. Gold, slightly bearish. EU, I don't know. EU gave us like a lot of entries. So let's see if we can find an entry on EU. I don't have any trend lines to draw on EU, unfortunately. Maybe the 1 minute can give us something. Yeah, no, even the 1 minute is terrible. So where is EU likely to head, right? We have a 15-minute bearish low and an hourly bearish low. We have a 15-minute bearish high. So this is a perfect zone to sell, if you ask me. Given our risk to reward for EU, this might be a sell zone. So hourly bearish high, our hourly bearish low. So if I were to sell, let me see what the distance is here. 94. Okay, so this is like a 15 pip zone. So yes, this is a zone I would look to sell EU. If EU comes here, and keep in mind, price can just wake up there and wake back down into profit. So around the hourly bearish low, which is 1.0930, 1.09039. Our take profit and stop loss for Forex pairs is 20 pips. So our stop loss will be above the hourly bearish high. It will be above the previous weekly high. Okay, so this would be actually a good trade if you want to be safe. Nowadays, we've been increasing the stop loss for EU. So let's try what 25 pips will do to us, because I'm looking to have a stop loss that's above that other supply zone up there. Yeah. To be safe, 30 pips. Yeah, so 30 pips will be good. I only do that if I see a bunch of supply or demand zones above my entry price. But yeah, I will be looking to sell Euro USD around this zone. But you can see here we have an hourly. Oh yes, so this hourly bearish high is lined up with a 4-hour bearish high. I just don't want to put too many shadings, like we're already overshaded and this is hurting my eyes. I'm not gonna do that. We do have a hourly bearish high that's lining up with a 4-hour bearish high. We do have an hourly bearish low that's lining up with a 4-hour bearish low. So in any case, actually what I'll do here, I'll divide these zones into 2 again. So that's 91.71. And so call this 9070, so 100. So this will be 9100 area. So the middle of this zone will be, this to me will be a perfect trade. So for this trade, you can use filler lots. So either enter at around 1.09042 or 1.09100. The last trade would be at 1.09170. So I think we're going to catch EU. So to me, EU makes sense. I see gold ranging, and I'm pretty sure we're about to get a news release right now. So let's see. So let's see. I don't want to predict and just become a meme on the internet, but I see them breaking this and maybe getting a wick. Also, be on the lookout for a bearish pin bar. I guess that's what it's called. Similar to a bearish pin bar is ideally an inverted bearish hammer. So be on the lookout for that. Because if they wick price, so look at that. They had a gap to the upside. So let's see what's happening in here. So I'll just take off the drawings and just see. Yep, filled the gap. Would this qualify as a bullish hammer if it closed? Unless this wick is 64, this is no. So even though this closed as a bullish hammer, I would not take it because it doesn't align with my entries for a bullish hammer candle. So remember, whether it's a bullish hammer or an inverted bearish hammer candle, I need the wick to be at least 30 pips. So this wick ideally here is 64 to 50. That's a 14 pip wick. I am not willing to trade that. Now, if we do get a inverted bearish hammer, that I can take, and there you go, blasting through that. Yeah, so this will be a trade. They're going to trend this, and then they're going to get a reversal. The reversal will be the best trade you can catch here. So the reversal is when we get that alert that the five minute has closed below the 9 EMA. That will be the trade. I told you guys it would wick. Look at that, literally. I told you it would wick to that zone. I did not have a stop set. I'm not in that trade. If I had a sell stop set or sell limit, whatever, you would be in the trade. But personally, I am still I didn't set it. So I'm not gonna mark that. Yeah, but if you set that stop, you can see it literally wicked to where I put the trade at and came back down. So for you guys, you don't have to wait for me to, if I mark up a trade and I do say, like, for example, I did say this was an amazing trade to take. So just set your pending orders. You don't have to wait for me to say I'm in or whatnot. Yeah, but to me, this trade makes sense. Now, they might come back up, and for me, I might just look to enter in the middle of this zone in order to have a larger stop loss. So let it just keep doing what it wants to do. And for this trade, I will enter with a 0.5 risk percent. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, sir. For your news, I know you said there was news coming up. Do you look on Forex Factory? Is that okay? Okay. Okay. Which pair are you looking at?
So here, ideally, since we are trading US whatever securities or instruments that are pegged on the US dollar or related to the US dollar, I'm looking at USD news. I'm not looking at all the others.
Okay, because I'm trying to see where you're looking at for the actual news.
Yeah, so like right here, I was looking at 10 a.m. this one. So the ISM manufacturing PMI, and I'm looking at this red folder.
Okay, ISM. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got I don't know why I've got 7 a.m.
So depending on the time zone, right? So I'm in the East Coast, so.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely learning how to do the news, to trade news is a big, oh my God, this was a nice, had anybody set the pending order? Because I did tell you guys where to set the pending orders. This would have been a good no drawdown trade. I don't care if it goes against me, that's fine. I am patient. And there you go. I did say that they're gonna blast through this. So don't worry guys, we're gonna catch this. And you can see it followed. It didn't come back to the weekly bullish low, but I did say that during news, they can try and just squeeze people out, because if they know that they're people, even just not regular retailers, they're retailers who have some common sense in the market, that they're just waiting to sell up here instead of selling down here. Ideally, institutions and banks, they just want to squeeze people out. So that's why even while trading these zones, you want a stop loss. That's why even when I'm setting this stop loss on EU, I literally don't want a stop loss that's above this supply zone. I want to have some room to breathe, because what I know, they normally come up there, squeeze people out, and then they literally melt price back down. So no need to have your stop loss like literally above the daily bearish high. No, just give yourself a couple of extra pips. And so long as you're not over leveraging, you can still risk the same amount, use a lower lot size. But here ideally we are waiting for the price to close below the 90 MA. I'm not sure if we're going to get a trade on US30 on the live session, because even for us to do that, we also need an established higher high so that we can also incorporate the trend line. Because right here, if we're just selling, anybody who's selling here, they're selling blindly. And I've been burnt before doing this. So here, I don't have a trend line. I don't have any closure on the 90 MA. In any case, my signals here, the signals that I'm giving you guys, automated signals, you know, they called for a buy on US30, and actually I made money on that on the account I have. So yeah, so for me, it's just right here. I'm not even going to look at US30 anymore until we get an established higher high. EU is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at. If anybody caught this sell that I called, because I did say the first sell would be at 1.09041040. This would have been a perfect no drawdown trade. Personally, I didn't have the time to set that up. So I'm just waiting for price to come back down this way, because remember the way we play these zones. So we have an hourly and a 4-hour bearish high here. We have a 4-hour and hourly bearish high here. So even when we fix the 3 trades, right? Because we normally do break such zones into 2. And then our entry is normally what, right? We have a filler trade at the bottom of that zone. So this would have been like an example of a filler trade straight into profit, right? And then what do we do for that, right? The strategy for that is, let me get this. So what we normally expect is price to go to the bottom of that channel, reject back down, and that's when we use a filler trade. And then we normally have another pending order set in the middle. So in this case, the next zone is 1.09100 for a sell. So then we don't take another sell at the bottom because we already took profit there. We wait for price to come in the middle, get filled in, price comes back down, and then we normally expect for price to come up to the top of that zone and then drop back down, right? That is easy. We've had this trade play out. I don't think this, yeah, we've had this trade play out more times than it has not. The other way you do it, right? If you've broken these zones into 2, if price comes into the first zone of interest and goes against you heavily and price trends up heavily, what do we normally do? We normally interchange the last 2 trades. So we delete that pending order, or just instead of waiting for the order in the middle, we now wait for the order at the top. And then at that point, we're just playing the first trade and the second trade instead of just having 3 trades running. So here, when price comes back up, I'm not looking to sell where price rejected, but I want to see this. This told me that this zone is perfect. There are sellers here. So if they're coming up to grab more liquidity, where are they likely to come to? The middle of that zone. So I'll wait for a sell at 1.09100, and that lines up. It's at the bottom of the supply zone within a supply zone. Also, my stop loss is far above. It's above the hourly bearish high. It's above the 4-hour bearish high. Ignore this weekly high for now, because remember, I normally draft the weekly highs and lows like on Wednesday. So I'm just going to hide it from you guys. So, but we have a previous weekly high. And then we have also just ignore that previous daily high, because remember on Mondays, the previous daily high for me is a Friday high and Friday low. So even for this previous daily high, I'll just ignore those 2 for now because they don't count. Yeah, so my stop loss will be above the hourly bearish high, the 4-hour bearish high, and then the previous weekly high. My trade is protected by this supply zone within a supply zone, this other supply zone, and this small supply zone up here. So this trade again makes sense to me, and it's a trade that I will take on the live session if price comes up there, and I will take it with a 0.5 risk percent. Remember, you only need to make 0.5 a day to pass any phase 1 challenge in 2.5 weeks. Gold is the same as US30. I need this instruments to establish a higher high. We don't have any opportunities for a buy, so there's nothing even to help us look for any buys. In any case, we are just in a heavy sell zone. US30, right? Same thing. It's gonna keep going. Unfortunately, I wish it came back and filled us in, but I'm not a coulda, shoulda, woulda, but this is what I want to see. It's following my analysis. I did say that US 30 is likely to break up here. I know I was waiting for that sell here, but you always want to wait for confirmation. So I wish we just had a buy area. So the only buy area is this zone right here. I wish we had a trend line, but the market hasn't given us a trend line. So we need establishment of a higher high. Or at the very least, we need price to come and close below the 9 EMA. So I like how the 9 EMA is getting closer and closer to price. So what this tells me is that the 9 EMA is likely to just keep coming up, and then US 30 is likely to keep ranging in this zone. And then by the time the 9 EMA is around this zone, guess what? We are going to have a closure below the 9 EMA on the 5-minute. We are going to have the next 5-minute retest the 9 EMA and close below the 9 EMA in this nice supply zone within a supply zone. And also, guess what? If that happens, we'll have an established higher high. So that will give us a hanging trend line. And then the trend line, if we go on the 1-minute, that trend line will be static. So this is just patience. I do see an amazing sell coming on US 30. But for that sell to happen, we have to be patient. There's no need. And I told you guys, like the last few weeks, just following my strategies, I don't feel the need to keep trading or to force a trade. Like if a trade doesn't make sense to me, I'm not going to mark it up for you guys. I'm not going to say, oh, let's just try a sell here. No, for me, the trades that I'm taking, they have to make sense. And literally, I don't feel like I have to trade. If I don't get a trade during the day, people, I tell you guys, the other admins in here, amazing traders, even better than me, Steven and Dean, they trade like once or twice a week and they make like 4%. On the other hand, you can have somebody who trades every day and they're only making 1.1% a week. So we're just looking for those A+ setups. So if they don't come to us, well and good. So this is actually one of those days you can use me and just ask me questions about a certain strategy, ask me questions about, I don't know, anything. So, and I'm guessing if you guys are quiet, it means that you know what I'm doing. So.
No, not at all. I'm still learning. So I got a question. So for that US 30 sell, I know there's a lot of mitigation, that it's going to come down to on something like that. Would you use a bigger lot, or would you stick with your normal lot size and just have a lower TP? Excuse me, a higher TP. I mean.
For the like when I do get all the 3 confirmations or all the 4, whatever I'm waiting for.
Correct. Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's a good question. So I am still the only time I risk. Okay, so when I first started doing this, I started risking. My first trade was always 0.375, actually 0.25, and then I came to 0.375. But right now I'm doing 0.5. So what I'm looking for, ideally, I'm just looking to do 0.5 a day or 0.5 a day, but I normally end up doing like 0.875 because if we look at this returns, I've just been doing 0.875. This one was during FOMC or whatnot. So ideally, I've been ranging between 0.5 and 0.875 for the day. So if I'm looking, so here I'll just risk 0.5%. And then maybe I don't have to write that trade all the way to TP. If I see some rejections, I'll close that out and probably secure 0.25%. And then I'll wait for another trade. So that's why I'm also looking at EU. And then for EU is probably going to give me 0.5% or 0.35. So when I add these 2 trades, it's going to give me maybe 0.6 for the day. So yes, but I'm looking to risk 0.5% for this US 30 trade because to me, it's going to make sense. For me, this trade, I'm going to risk 0.5% because it's going to make sense. The only time I would risk less than 0.5% is maybe using, because I can still risk 0.5% with this trade, but instead of using our 50 pip stop loss and take profit, I'll use maybe 70 or 80 pips, right? What I'll do, I'll just lower my lot size and then I'll risk the same amount. If I want to risk 0.375 here, maybe I do what? I use a lower lot size. Yeah. Or if I want to risk, I can also risk 1% for this trade. But then at that point, instead of using a 50 pip stop loss and 50 pip take profit, I maybe use a 20 pip stop loss and 20 pip take profit. So it's ideally what you're comfortable with. For me here, If we do get that closure below the 9 EMA, I don't see price even hitting our stop loss for 50 pips. It is possible, but I don't see that happening. So if that happens, when we do get that confirmation, I'll just risk 0.5%, use a 50 pip stop loss, use a 50 pip take profit. For this trade right here, the EU trade, the reason, so it's still 0.5, what was that? No, that's GJ. For this trade right here, normally FX pairs, I go for 20 pip stop loss, 20 pip take profit. For this trade right here, I did 30 pip stop loss and 30 pip take profit. I will still risk 0.5%. However, the reason I did not go for 20 lots, 20 pips is, right, guess what? If we do 20 pips here, you can see we are in some sort of danger, right? Because our trade, actually 20 pips is okay. But what I told you guys, they normally bring price up to this zone. So when you see these supply and demand zones, consider them magnets, right? What can happen when price comes up here? They can literally wick me out of this position and drop back in profit. So I want to be safe in this trade. So, and I actually, to be honest, I feel better trading as much as I'm a US 30 trader. I feel more confident in this in this EU setups because keep in mind, a lot of traders have like a 50 pip stop loss on pairs. For us, we only have like a 20 pip stop loss. In this particular trade, it's 30 pips. Like it looks like a huge distance, but keep in mind, a lot of traders that their stop loss is all the way up here. I don't have time for me to keep riding this trade up here. So when I say it's 20 pips, like the probabilities of that trade hitting are like high probability in my case. So last week we had 3 back-to-back EU sells that hit profit, right? So if we go here, we hit full TP on this EU sell taken on Friday. The previous day was the same thing, full TP, right? The previous day, I'm so sure full TP. So for 3 back-to-back trade days, we sold EU and it hit full take profit for either 20 pips or 30 pips. So yeah, I'm loving the EU setups more and more, but you just need to be patient. So yeah, when this trade comes up here, 30 pip stop loss, 30 pip take profit, risking 0.5% of my account. And yeah, so here, instead of using the same lot size I would use for 20 pip stop loss, 20 pip take profit. So I normally use, so for like a 200K, if you're risking 0.5%, here you would use a 5 lot. But since my stop loss and take profit are further than what I normally do, I think I'm going to use, I think it's normally a 3.3 lot, because I'm using that trade manager I showed you guys. So, and you can see price is coming back to us, and I just love that price actions. Yeah, so I'm actually excited for today. So even though we get stopped out of any trade, you know, I told you guys, trading is a lot of psychology. So it's ideally just waiting and waiting and waiting. So I'm waiting on EU. Let US 30 do whatever it wants to do until we get that higher high, and I'm telling you guys, that closure is going to happen here, and we're going to have a trend line here, and then we're going to get an amazing sell for US 30 around this zone. And that sell, let me see how far this weekly bullish low is. We're going to get a good, so it's not going to be like 20 pips or whatnot. So we might be able to hit the whole 50 pips. And guess where that's gonna go, right? So if you just do 50 pips stop loss, 50 pip take profit in this zone, going to go to the weekly bullish low. They come, grab that liquidity, take profit gets hit, price shoots all the way back up. So let's just be patient and wait for that to happen. So I already have my alert set. Gold. I didn't like gold last week. I don't like gold now. I'm still looking for gold to go all the way to 2050. For those of you who've been with me for the last 3 weeks, I called for bullish bias on gold when gold was at 1812, and gold since 1812 shot all the way up, right? So if we go here on the hourly, I remember we had a live session around this zone, and I did say right? Because this is the time that we had reports of banks, some banks in the US failing, like the SVB bank. And I did say when that happens, when you have a lot of financial uncertainty in markets, gold goes bullish because gold is a safe haven asset. So during times of war, during times of inflation, gold is a safe haven asset. So you can literally, if you hear such news, you can literally close your eyes and buy gold. Or if you're a gold investor, if you like to buy gold and hold, so to me, that's a no-brainer. Yeah, but in such days, so remember, not every day will we get trades on the live session, but you guys have access to signals from my AI, and literally you just need one of these signals, analyze one of these signals, get in, you make your 0.5% for the day. So to me, if you guys are not making money in this group, it doesn't make sense to me. Well, it makes sense only if you're learning and you really haven't started maybe applying the strategies or getting an account. But if you're in this group, you have the capacity to make money, and B, you have the capacity to learn, and you're not learning or making money, it literally doesn't make sense to me, but to each their own. But yeah, we have all these signals. I did show you a screenshot earlier on today, like just trades that I have automated an account to take some of the trades on that are coming up, and look at that. Just this is 1% in one day without even I wasn't doing anything. This was literally my copier just doing all of that for me. So you can literally wait. If you get a buy signal on US 30 or whatever on EU, go to the EU chart on that time frame, analyze that instrument. Does that buy make sense? Remember, this signal, as you can see, right, the signals that hit stop loss, this US 30 buy sell hit stop loss, this US 30 sell hit stop loss. But guess what? I'm still configuring BTC. The EU buy hit take profit, gold buy take profit, AUD take profit. GJ, I'm still configuring, so that's why it hit my trailing stop early, but I think GJ also went up. Another gold buy, take profit. So if you're looking for a buy on gold, if your analysis was showing you a buy on gold and you got a signal for a buy, you go to the chart. Does the buy make sense? Enter the buy. And remember, this take profit and stop loss is the same thing we use on the live session. So literally it's nothing new. So that's what I'm saying. If anybody has the capacity to learn and the capacity also to make money, and you're not learning, or you're not making money, or you're not asking questions. So keep in mind, there's no question that's too dumb. I don't think any questions are too dumb or whatnot. So feel free to ask those questions. So for this trade right here, this is just patience. Audrey, I don't know if you entered that. When it comes back up here, I will enter. We're still bullish on EU.
Yo, Vaza, I got that trade manager now. Can you tell me on gold and on US 30 what 50 pips is?
On gold and on US 30. Give me a second. Let me open mine. Hey, Audrey, when this comes back up here, you can enter. Just use a 0.5. I think it's 3.3 lot size, and 30 pip stop loss, 30 pip take profit. I forgot to set a pending order. Okay. So gold and US 30, you said? Leaving?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So for US 30, the stop loss is, so it's 5,000, 5,000. And that's a 50 pip. For gold, 50 pips is, this is interesting because last time, I don't know if this is 15. I think gold is 500, 500. And on the trade manager, if you see like where it says above, like trade manager version 3.36, the first icon looks like a pencil or whatever. If you click on that, it's gonna draw for you the TP and stop loss box. So you can use that to confirm that's where you want the TP and stop loss. Yeah, so on the trade manager, the first green icon, the first green circular icon on the top is that. You can just use that to draw that. But yeah, I think gold is 500, 500, by US 30 is definitely 5,000, 5,000.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. So this was the trade. If anybody set a pending order at 1.09100, if EU comes back up, I will enter. You know what? Let me not keep doing it, because every time I start analyzing stuff, I miss trades. Let me set a pending order for myself. chat window, and I will set a pending order here for AU. AU will, no, not AU, EU, reset chart V. And EU is literally, oh, we're about to possibly be creating a triple top. Okay, let me set a pending order for me. I am risking EU, okay, 30 pip, yeah, so it's 3.3. Just a second. Looking up, we do have a trend line to the upside somewhere here. This trend line is at 1.09275. No, I'll just wait for it because I do see a trend line on my computer. Yeah, but if anybody set a pending order, you should be in profit because I said the next entry would be the mid of this zone, and that is 1.09100. Yeah. But when I catch a trade, it's gonna be something because I've missed 2 EU sales already. All right, I'll just wait on EU. But I'll be waiting on that US 30 sell. So whether it's during the live session, whether it's not, I'll be looking for that amazing. So EU and US 30 sells, and remember this for tomorrow because we'll see it after, probably after the live session. US 30 and EU sales will be amazing. So it's even trades that you can hold for even 50 or 100 pips. But you just need that entry so that you don't get faked out before any reversal. So in any case, I trust EU more than US 30 because I know US 30 normally has a mind of its own. And look at all this zones above for US 30. But told you guys, right? So you can see we're having exhaustion in that uptrend. So this is what I want to see. And if we go on the 1 minute time frame, we'll probably have a higher high established. There you go. So let's just do this, even though it's probably not going to hold. Even on the 1 minute, this is the first time it's closing, or in a while, it's just about closing below the 9 EMA. So this trend line, it doesn't count on the 5 minute because if we go on the 5 minute, we do not have an established higher high, but I'm just drawing. So either way, so this is just an invalid trend line on the 5 minute, but on the 1 minute, it's an established, no, it's a hanging trend line on the 1 minute because we have a higher high and we're expecting for price not to break above this zone. The reason I'm drawing this early is because we can see where the 9 EMA is coming in. So the 9 EMA is going to come up here. Then if price keeps descending, and you can see we have a bunch of exhaustion for US 30, we will have this established as a higher high. Possibly, remember, it doesn't have to happen. US 30 can keep trending up, but I'm looking for this to be established as a higher high. Then I'm looking for the 9 EMA to come around price, support price a little bit, and then we have an impulse break and close below the 9 EMA. At that point, the higher high is already established. Our trend line is hanging, and then we get the next 5 minute candle closing below the 9 EMA, retesting the 9 EMA. And at that point, guess what? The sell will be around this zone that has heavy supply. And trust me, you will get, our trade will go into profit in like a minute or so. So that's just patience and patience. So at least US 30, I know definitely I'm not going to miss it because I have an alert set so that I can get alerted when price closes below the 9 EMA. So I'm not worried about missing US 30. This EU trade is what I am interested in. So EU also, we are seeing some exhaustion in EU, but EU is fully bullish. Gold is fully bullish, US 30 is fully bullish. Remember, unfortunately, we did not have any zones to buy any of these instruments. So, you know, people can ask, why are you looking for a sell when you're saying that everything is bullish? We did not have any buy zones for gold. What is this? Gold, yeah, right. So we just have supply zones. We have bearish markups. We don't have any demand zones. We don't have any bullish markups. Same as EU. EU is the same thing. We just have supply zones and just bearish markups. We did not have any demand zones or bullish markups when we are on the live session. US 30 is the only thing we had. We were waiting for, so when we started the live session, US 30 had just bounced off of a 15-minute bullish high and low, and then it popped all the way up. Now we did have a weekly bullish low, so before news, I was expecting for them to come and grab liquidity at the weekly bullish low, and then for us, we would have bought US 30 there, but we did not have that confirmation. So the US 30 is the only one that gave us markups, but it did not align to. So there are people who would have bought this candle here, but for me, that's a risky buy. So I always want to see a retest of my markups. So yeah, not sure. Again, if I don't get any trade, I haven't lost it all for the day. Keep in mind, I'm trading signals also. Well, not trading signals. I'm using signals to show me where price is headed, and I'm catching trades that way. So yeah. So in any case, you would only be losing out in this live session if you only trade with me, or if you only use me to catch live trades. So this is, again, what I want to see. Price is rejecting exactly from this markups, right? This candle is rejecting exactly. So this is what I want to see, so that when price comes back up here, the trade will make sense. So I want to see a retest of the trade within this heavy supply zone up here. Any questions? I feel like there's something I'm missing that I was supposed to tell you guys.
Yeah, I got a question. So like I said, I'm trying to learn your strategy and then kind of put it together with mine in regards to the order blocks. So do you look at order blocks as well, and more specifically the order block that caused the break of structure? That's what I look at, the order block that caused the break of structure. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can kind of line your strategy up or my strategy, and then kind of add on to, especially like the trend lines and whatnot.
Okay. So personally, the way I draw order blocks, it is subjective for me. Because even when I'm drawing order blocks, I need other things to line up. So I'm trying to open up a new chart. Let's see if I can load something else. Just a second. Let's see. Let me do this. EU, sure. And then I'll just delete everything. Okay, so when I'm drawing order blocks, right? So order blocks, you always draw from the left. So you always go and see what was happening to the left. So right here, for me, this here is a automatic bearish high. What is this, 4 hour? That's a good question. Do I even have that on my chart? And you can see it's rejecting exactly from there. And this would be 4 hour bearish low. Now, I use this candle. So if we had a downtrend, I'm going to try and find the bullish candle before the downtrend. Normally it's not always bullish. Sometimes it is. Most of the times, ideally, that's what I'm looking for, in short. So if it's not a bullish one, well and good. If it's if it's a downtrend, right, I'm looking for the bullish candle. If there was an uptrend, I want to look for the last bearish candle. That's how I draw the order blocks. Again, I am drawing them in zones where price is around. So I'm pretty sure we probably here, to me, this was another one, this one right here. But keep in mind, for all of my charts, for any time frame, I only have one pair. So I have one pair of bearish highs and one pair of bearish lows per time frame. So if you're literally drawing all of them here, you would have had two two pairs of bearish highs, 4-hour bearish highs and lows. So normally what I do, right, I'm still looking at this. So this is also an area of, and Audrey, if you're still on the live stream, keep an eye out on that EU trade. I haven't set the pending order yet. So if EU comes back up there, just get in with whatever. So here's what I'll do with these zones. Since for me, I don't need like a lot of I already have a lot of markups as is. So in this zone that we have a cross section, I'll just come in here. So that's, to me, that's what you see on the charts as red and green zones. So I'm not going to mark this little rectangle as a bearish high or low. I'll just mark it up and know that, to me, this is a supply zone. So if I'm looking for sales, I'm either looking for sales at the 4-hour bearish high here. I'm either looking for sales at this supply zone. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, it's subjective, but I look for the, for me, it's always a numbers game and probability game.
So it's more so for you, it's not more so the order block that caused the break of structure then.
No. It's the one before.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's how I'm able to get no drawdown trades. Most of my trades you guys have seen are no drawdown. So I as any trader, I hate drawdown. We cannot always avoid drawdown, but you can avoid drawdown sometimes. So
now I like that. So, as far as the no drawdown, because that's something that I'm trying to kind of perfect as well. But okay, so you don't really look at the order block that caused the break of structure.
No.
You said you look at the one before.
Yes. Yeah.
So okay. So break that down in layman's term, like the one before.
So we have a downtrend here, right?
Yeah.
This is a clear.
Then,
so which is, if it's a downtrend, I'm looking at the last bullish candle. So which is the last bullish candle before this downtrend? It's this one right here. So to me, that's my order block.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Okay. And so that's what I would look at for the order block. Now you said the one before. So when you say the one before, you're not talking about the order block before that. You're talking about the candle.
Yes, I'm looking at right, because order blocks are based off of candles, right?
Right. Yeah. So I would use the red green candle, or the green candle before the red. That's what I would use.
This one,
as
right?
The order block. Correct.
Yeah. So this is the same one I would use, right? But again, not every time, because sometimes I don't know, maybe we can find something.
So there's an order block right there as well. Let's see, up at the top, the red candle at the top. Now, so I would use that. So to me, that green candle, with the to include the wick, would be actually the green candle to the left.
This one.
Correct. Yeah. So that would be an order block for me as well. That's what I always use, the green candle before the red. So that would be an order block to me as well. But I would look for the order block that caused that break of structure. So I'm just trying to look at your strategy and then kind of.
Yeah. So for me here, this, I mean, it's not saying that this is not an order block. It is, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But for me here, this is then what I would count as that order block, this candle right here. So you had, yeah, but again, mine are subjective, and I believe even for everybody is subjective. But whatever happened, whether you use this one, whether you used even this one, you would still get some intersection here. So you also want to look at where are these order blocks intersecting. So whether you use this red candle here, you'd still get an intersection between this one and this one. But for me, if I'm looking at these intersections, I'm not looking for, and look at EU go. Oh my goodness. That was, man. Anyway, if I'm looking for an intersection, I'm not looking for an intersection that's 50 pips. My intersections are 20 pips. That's why my stop loss is normally 20 pips. I'm not looking for intersections that are 50 pips or 80 pips. So that's why the way I've started, the way I draw them gives me intersections that are 10 pips, 20 pips, 25 pips at most. So that way I know that if my stop loss is 20 pips, it's going to survive an intersection of 15 pips or 5 pips. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because
Give me a
that
second.
actually, yeah.
No,
Because
go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna say because it looked like it actually touched it. It actually retested that order block a couple of times, which to me signifies it's a pretty strong order block because it did retest it.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so your order blocks are kind of like retested order blocks, just because those are much stronger, and then you can have a shorter stop loss because that's a pretty strong order block.
I'm not gonna say retest. I don't know what you mean by retested. I just like honestly, like if you ask me, I just look for a downtrend or uptrend and look for the previous green candle or red candle, and that's it. So whether it ends up being retested, like I really don't care about that. Like I just look for a downtrend. We got. I thought I turned. Oh, there you go. So we're having a sell here. Did anybody catch the EU sell? Man, I don't know. Audrey, are you in here? I don't know if we caught that on that one account. Man,
I got to sell off the US 30 just a couple minutes ago. I'm actually out.
I'm caught up at work right now. I'm missing everything. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, we are getting a sell on US 30, so it's fine. So here I am with, and I told you guys, patience. So this one right here on the 5-minute, this will be established as we'll have a higher high here. We'll have an established hanging trend line. On the 1 minute, this is established as a trend line, as a static trend line. No, it's still a hanging trend line on the 1 minute. But so if it's a hanging trend line, this will be established as a lower high on the 1 minute. So we have a hanging trend line on the 5-minute, on the 1 minute. This here, I love this cell in here. So for this cell, we need to look at, so we're looking for the retest of the 9 EMA enclosure below, and we're getting that. The issue here is that you always want to see where US, so the ideal cell would be a retest of this trend line, right? So if you're using, make sure your stop loss is above this trend line. If we use our 50 pip stop loss, 50 pip take profit, it might not be, so because keep in mind price, our entries, the ones that line up a lot are the ones that come to the trend line. So if price is to shoot here, we can easily get faked out before price comes back down. But anyway, I will sell US 30 if this candle closes below this way, because I do expect a surge in sell orders at this zone. So I did tell you guys this was going to happen. So I'm not missing this trade. So the only thing right now is for me to think if I want to increase my stop loss. So give me a second, but I will be taking this trade that will be closing, but I need a good retest of the 9 EMA. If that doesn't happen, I will take a 100 pip stop loss, 100 pip take profit. But I really don't want to do that because I do know price is coming to the weekly bullish low. So this is where price is coming at, right? So this setup right here is going to play out. So it's a matter of, are they going to fake people up, come to the, so keep in mind the trend line on the 5-minute is still invalid. So this is where patience goes, you have to be patient. On the 1 minute, the trend line is still a hanging trend line because we have a higher high. We do not have a lower high, but we expect this to be established as a lower high. On the 5-minute, this is an invalid trend line because we don't have any structure. So remember, you always want to draw your trend line coming from established structure. So this is one of those trades where this is something, because our stop loss is ideally within where the trend line is. So what I'll do, so always look for confluences. If you can find a confluence, don't force a confluence, look for confluences. Let's see whether we are in a descending. Okay, so we are still above a buy zone. So the ideal sell for US 30 is here, but I want a stop loss that can survive a move to the upside. So yeah, I want this to go up. I'll use 100 pip stop loss. Use 100 pip stop loss, still risk the same amount, because if I use 100 pip stop loss, my stop loss will be above the trend line. So keep in mind, it's still a little risky, but 100 pip stop loss is better in my opinion. Yeah, so, and it actually just closed below a structure trend line. So yes, I will take this sell. So long as this candle does not close above the 9 EMA, I will take this sell. You guys haven't been catching EU literally? Wow, man, I'm out here. I called all those sales for EU. I know I personally, I didn't set a pending order. So look at how this candle is. So just if you're using a 50 pip stop loss, just make sure. So remember, we don't care about money here. We don't care about whatever. We're just counting. We're just dealing with percentages. So long as you're dealing with percentages, you're not gonna be out here just seeing the numbers go up and down. So I am waiting. 13 seconds. I will come back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I am in that trade currently. So I'm currently in the sell for US 30. Okay. Let's see if this copied in this other accounts. Let's see what's going on in this other instrument. So 100 pip stop loss, 100 pip take profit for that US 30 trade. So I'm loving the trade on US 30 gold. I'm not looking at gold. This EU sell would have been amazing, but let's see. So keep in mind, I'm only shooting, and there you go. We have a higher high established on the 5 minute. This is what I wanted, right? So we go to the one on the 5 minute. Let's see what's happening on the 1 minute. So let the 1 minute do whatever. But yeah, we have that higher high established. So just wait for a spike. So keep in mind, we haven't yet tested the 9 EMA. We can possibly come up here and test this trend line, but I am looking for a spike to the downside, a big candle. So I am in that sell for US 30. Only thing, we do have a bunch of trend lines right here that are supporting, but I'm looking to maybe exit. I wish, the only thing, it didn't give me a good trade to use a 50 pip take profit or stop loss. The only thing, I'm looking to secure partials at the weekly bullish low, because I did do this markup, move up, come back down to the weekly bullish low. So let's see what happens down there. Okay. Gold. Gold is the same thing. There you go. So this is the, so if you could have entered a sell up here, so this is why I talk about patience, right? If you could have entered a sell up here, right, maybe you could have been heavily in profit and made profit, but what if the trade could have gone against you, right? You could have said, wait, I should have just waited for confluence, right? But so this is why I always talk about patience. Like, waiting for patience is a no-brainer for me. Like, you will never ever have major losses if you're always patient. Because yeah, sure, if you could have sold somewhere around here, yeah, maybe you could have made some profit. Or what if you sold down here, right? We have a 50 pip stop loss. You could have been stopped out of this trade. But guess what? If only you'd have waited for the closure below the 9 EMA, retest of the 9 EMA and closure below, right now you'd have been in profit. Because if you entered a sell around this area, even though we were in a supply zone, so keep in mind, supply and demand zones, price does not have to react immediately, right? They can, I told you guys, they fake people out, and there you go. They fake people out and then come back for the real move. The only thing holding us back here, we have a bunch of trend lines to the upside. We have this weekly bullish low. So just use proper judgment in this zone. Let me see. I am looking to make 0.5% for the day. But the account I'm trading on right now, it's not the one that was taking the signal. So this is an account I haven't taken any trade on. So keep in mind, they can pick up, and this is what we want to see, right? Well, it's not what we want to see for our sell trade, but for these markups we are having, this is what we want to see. We want to see price rejecting exactly from our markups. Now, I need this. Now, if we do get a 5-minute candle closing below the weekly bullish low, telling you guys this trade will shoot into profit. The only thing holding our sell, and we are in profit, what, 53? We are in profit. Oh, we came down in profit like 40 pips. So just use proper risk management. If you want to scale out early, remember our practice is if you're 50% or 50% of the trade in profit, set break even. So this should be, yeah, you should be at break even for this trade, or secure half and set break even. So let's see for this trade. Personally, what do I want to do with this trade? I think we can go further, but for you guys, set that trade in break even. You are like 30 pips in profit. Easy money. This is even 40 pips. That's easy money on the live session. I told you guys when I take a trade today, because I missed 2 EU sales today. I'm not missing any other trade. There we go. Watch this. Let's see what happens. Come on, get a retest right there. And let's see what's happening here. There we go. So you should be at break even. Personally, I am holding this trade for now because we do have a trend line to the upside here. And that trend line so far is holding. But for you guys, remember, set break even for this trade unless you know what you're doing. They can grab liquidity and take price back up. So that's another no drawdown trade. Patience does pay. What else do we have? There we go. Let's go. Yeah, and it's almost so we have like 9 more minutes. So keep in mind I live stream till 11, so we only have about 9 more minutes. So if anybody has any questions, now is a good time to ask those questions. We are in profit heavily on this trade. What do I want to do? Because I have the copier going on other accounts. Audrey, if you want to close the trade on the other account, I'm looking at it right now, or maybe we should set break even. But I think that we've made good money today. So I'll close. Yeah, I closed. Oh, I have to accept these terms and conditions. Hey Audrey, I'm closing the trade on the other account. There we go. So I'm holding this on my actual account. And there we go. Come on, let's go. I love this. Your trade should be break even. We are running 54. Yeah, this is amazing. 60 pips, no drawdown trade. Amazing. Look at that. We're coming to a supply zone, right? So I expect them to keep pushing and pushing this down.
So for me, I'm kind of moving my TP. So if this candle closes,
yeah, we're gonna have a spike. We're gonna have a spike to the downside.
Yeah. So if it closes underneath this wick, then I'm just going to move my TP to the wick because it looks like it's mitigated this candle or the previous candle, and just keep moving my TP down. I'm gonna try and do that because a lot of times I get out of my trade earlier, but if I kind of start focusing on, moving it down, because I know a lot of times it may come back and mitigate the candle, but.
Yeah. And also keep in mind, they can use bearish zones as bullish zones. They can use this as a chance to shoot all the way back up. So that's why I always say set break even. But for me, the sell makes sense. Patience. Amazing day today. Man, did anybody catch EU? I gave you guys 2 chances, right? Even, I'm preaching to the choir because even for me, I didn't take it. But anyway, my goal here is to teach you guys and to help you guys learn. So I don't feel bad that I missed this. But I did say, right, I did break this zone into 2 for you guys. I did say the first sell would be at 1.90 even before price got there. We got there during news. I did identify another sell for you guys. So, if there we go. What do I want to do here? I think let's see, because I'm still in this trade on 2 other accounts. Decisions. Okay. Let's go. I like this trade. I like it. I like it. I like how we're doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, US 30 is bearish. US 30 is bearish. Gold is bullish. EU is turning to bearish. So EU is more bearish. So this trade makes sense to me. But keep in mind, we have this weekly bullish low here. I don't like this. I do not like it. On the other hand, if this candle reverses and closes as a bullish hammer candle, this is 513. This is 492. That would be a 20. That would be a what, 20 pip, whatever. But if we do get a closure, if this candle reverses and closes above the weekly bullish low, we are going up. So keep in mind, I told you, I told you guys this is still playing out in my opinion. They are still looking to push price up. So what I'll do here, honestly, I close that trade on the 2 remaining accounts. For those 2 remaining accounts, I am only up 0.25 for the day, so that's fine. I'm still up on the signals, and I'm up heavily on another project Audrey and I are doing. So, yep. So if you guys are in this trade, now is the time to ask questions. I will be ending the live session shortly. Another amazing day for the live session. Let me record this. I'm not going to record the EU trade because personally I did not enter it. Remember, the trades I record here are the trades that I take on the live session. So we are in April. So I just secured 0.25% for that trade. If I do get another trade, so the trades that I count here are only trades I take on the live session, or the trades if I send out any pending orders for you guys to fill in. But you see, if you guys took this trade right here, you would have been up like 0.5%, or the trade would still be running. Yeah, but I'm satisfied for that for the day. I told you guys, like, if you think of trading as a job, like literally, I'm guessing a bunch of you have jobs, right? So if you go to your job today, if you get paid what? If you get paid, let's say 100,000 a year, $50,000 a year. When you go, right, it's a year. Like on January 1st, on January 2nd, do you go to your work and work for 50,000? Like, do you go and work like you're getting paid 50,000 in that day? No. Do you go and work like you're getting paid 5,000 in that day? No. So have the same mentality for trading. Think of, like, for me, I'm looking at, just being a full-time trader soon. A lot of people ask me, why aren't you already a full-time trader given all the good results you're having? Listen, it's also a journey. My journey is not the same as other traders' journeys. So, but if you think, for me, I think of trading as a job, right? So I'm looking, if I'm coming on the live session with you guys, I count like clock in, because other jobs you have like clock in and clock out. So we start our live session at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, ended at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So I count trading. Ideally, it's something I love. So I wake up, I'm like, okay, I need to clock in at 9:30. At 9:30, guess what? We're here on the live session, analyzing, looking for trades. At 11, I'm done. Literally, I don't trade anything after 11. I let my signals do the trading for me. So if you think of trading that way, you won't be in a hurry to try and make 10% in one day. Literally, like, I don't get why people try. I mean, I used to be one of those people who are trying to make 10%, 20% in a day, but it is, listen to me, it is not possible. If it's possible, you're going to have to put a lot of things in your life on in the backseat, because you'll be out there just on the charts back to back. So for me, I've already made my 0.25% for the day. So do your math. 0.25% on a 200K account. What is that, right? So how many people make that in 1 hour? Actually, not even 1 hour. There are people who work like a part-time job, work for 8 hours, and are not able to make what I just made in 1 hour. So literally think of that. It's all a numbers game. Unless you know that you're dying tomorrow, the only people that I can allow to trade to try and make 20% in a day is if you've gotten a message that you'll die tomorrow. But most people, of course, don't have that. So long as you're anticipating for another tomorrow, make 1% a day, make 0.5% a day. Mondays and Fridays are very risky days. Don't over leverage. Find an A+ trade always. Make 0.25% on Friday, make 0.25% on Monday, because we always get this trade. Let's see. Amazing, the trade is still running. And at this point, do I feel bad that I closed early? No, I don't feel bad. I made my 0.25%. Like, it is what it is. We waited for this trade. The trade lined up exactly as I expected. So then tomorrow or Wednesday, if I see the same setup, guess what? I'll get in maybe with a 1% risk. I'll be able to make 1% tomorrow. So let's see. We're just waiting for this to hit take profit. Yeah, I missed the EU trade. Gold, I don't like it. And guess what? Gold is pretty much just, we have some ranging and ranging and ranging. And this is what I'm telling you guys, gold is going up because ideally US 30, gold and EU move similar, right? So look, EU and gold, they're dipping. I'm sorry, EU and US 30 are dipping. Gold is still trying to push up. So that's why I don't want to play with gold, especially because of what's going on in the world fundamentals wise. And I told you when US 30 drops, it's going to drop heavy. When EU drops, it's going to drop heavy. We have a possible, let me guess, a death cross forming on EU on the 5-minute. There you go. The 9 EMA is approaching the 200 EMA. US 30, same thing. We have a death cross coming in, but you know, I already made my money. I don't care what happens after that. So does anybody have any questions before I end the live session? And you can see I got a gold buy alert on the 1 hour. It's BTC. Anybody has any question? Did anybody take this US 30 trade? And this is 100 pips, right? This is double the pips we normally take. Unfortunately, I didn't want to risk taking using a 50 pip stop loss and 50 pip take profit, because our 50 pip stop loss would have been, again, you never know where price is going to go. So if we were not within the purview of the trend line, if our 50 pip stop loss could have been above the trend line, yes, maybe I could have held. But for this one, this is 100 pips. This means that we sold at 33,555. Our take profit is at 33,455. Keep in mind, a lot of groups out there that scalp US 30, they go for 10 pips, 20 pips. 100 pip trade, no drawdown. I mean, that's something. Does anybody have any questions before I end the live stream? Does anybody have any feedback to give?
No, appreciate you, man. Awesome trade. I'm still in this trade, and I'm just scaling it down. I've got this trend line indicator on my MT4, and I'm just kind of moving it down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting used to the trend line. So thank you for that, brother.
Perfect. Let me see. Where do you follow news for US 30 gold and currencies? I think I answered that, but yeah, Forex Factory. So if you just search for Forex Factory, you will see that. You'll see this trade or this site right here, this nice little site. And thank you, Audrey, for reminding me about news. I've stopped trading, or I've stopped focusing, well, not focus. I always forget about news because I'm just so focused on the strategies. But yeah, thank you to Dean, and I think it's Dean who reminded me. The other day, Audrey reminded me. And for you guys, remember, I always tell you, draw your trend lines literally. I always give a screenshot of my MT4. Draw your trend lines because that's gonna help you. Let me share this screen before I end the session. Stop share. And I will share this. Draw your trend lines. If you can draw them on your MT4, because I always say, if you draw your trend lines, do not delete them. So if you draw them on TradingView, honestly, no. Wait, give me a second, snipping tool. If you draw them on TradingView and do not delete them, you'll just have a bunch of trend lines every single time. But on your MT4, I think you can afford to just have them there. Let me draw this again, because I always show you guys a screenshot of this, and it definitely helps my trading so much. I think it helps me like 30% of the time. So come on, let me see. I don't know, it's not helping me share. Okay, I should be able to share now. Share screen. There we go. Snipping tool, share. Okay, so you guys can see this screen, right? So this is my MT4. I have all these trend lines that I drew way back, and guess what? These trend lines are holding. So the sell that we took, guess what? When I entered that sell, I did tell you right here that I did mention on the live session that on my MT4, there's a trend line that was holding. And I did say that if price breaks below that trend line, price will dip, right? And then we got our sell, we got the sell around which candle? Our sell was during this candle right here. So this is where we sold. So at this point, I knew that we have this trend line to support my stop loss or somewhere above here. But I did know that I have this trend line that's going to hold my position. Now, on the other hand, I did tell you we did have a lot of trend lines to the downside that could be supporting US 30. So this one of the reasons that I exited my position early, because when this happens, price can either bounce back from that, and we did have that weekly bullish high at that zone. So if not for the weekly bullish high, I would have just ridden through these trend lines. But I did see a possibility of price bouncing from either of these trend lines and going back up to pick up the weekly bullish low zone. But anyway, you can see that this trend line again breaks below. Next candle retests exactly that trend line and then closes and breaks below. Same thing. So right now price is trapped between these trend lines. Now, if US 30 breaks, which it will, breaks these trend lines currently and doesn't have any major swing to the upside, US 30 will drop heavily. And you can see even on my MT4, well, I haven't drawn today's trend lines, but like right now on MT4, I can see a trend line. Of course, I'm drawing with my hand, so it's not straight, but I can see a trend line from this point to this point to this point. So I do see a trend line here. But anyway, I haven't drawn a trend line today's trend lines, but you guys can see the importance of draw your trend lines on your MT4. Do not delete them. I only zoom. You're not going to be seeing this, right? I only zoomed out so that I can show you how far back the trend lines go. It's not even, you can't even see the beginning of them. But normally when you're trading or when I'm trading, I'm only zoomed into this zone. So I really cannot see anything that's going on away from that zone. So I don't care about, in any case, I would rather my MT4 looks clunky as opposed to my trading view. Like my trading view already has a lot of markups as is. So I don't want to start having a bunch of, again, trend line markups in that zone. US 30 full take profit for those of you who held. Amazing day. 0.5%. Actually, let me go ahead and update that. So there you go. All you need a day is 0.5%. So exiting a position will always be up to you guys. Keep in mind, now if this trade could have come back and hit break even. So remember our strategy. When you're 50% in profit, either secure half and set break even, or if you're 50% in profit, just set break even. For this particular trade, you see that price did not come back to break even. So remember, I think during the live session, we've only had one trade that we set break even, or two trades that we set break even, and they came back and hit break even. But most of our trades that we've set break even did not go back and take you out at break even. So, just trust the analysis. When I say be patient, literally be, especially US 30. I've traded US 30 daily for the last 3 years. So I've blown like thousands and thousands of dollars of accounts trading US 30, thinking that, oh, it's gone too high, it has to come back. No, US 30 does not have to do anything. Same as gold. Does anybody have any questions? If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time. Oh, no. Tomorrow we don't have I have other commitments, so I cannot do a live session tomorrow. I don't know if any of the other admins may want to run the live session tomorrow. Dean, Steven, and Audrey, if you guys want to run the live session, let me know. But if not, we do not have a live session tomorrow. Also on Wednesday, I'm actually going to see Dean and Steven. So I don't know. Yeah, on Wednesday too, we won't have a live session because I'll be flying out to see these two club members, So because my flight will be at 8. So unless I trade on the plane, and I don't want to be talking on the plane, people wondering what is this guy talking about trend lines. So yeah, so we might not have a live session tomorrow and Wednesday, but if any of the other admins want to run the live session, they can let me know. I will give them access and you will see the link tomorrow. But if not, just plan on trading. Use the signals, right? You don't need me. You have the signals. Signals are telling you the direction where price is likely headed to. When you get a signal, remember, it's telling you the instrument. It's telling you the time frame that the signal is coming in. Look at that, a sell on NAS, amazing. It's telling you the stop loss and take profit. And yeah, and then you just have to follow that. Other than that, does anybody have any questions they want to ask? No? Okay. Sell. I don't know why my GJ's whatever. I need to adjust the TP. Okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.